Good afternoon. We've got Michael Mathé on from Konica Minolta today. What's happening, Michael? How are you?
I'm great, Andy. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to talking to you today.
Great to see you. Great to see you. You are a kind of a VIP, a big deal over at Konica Minolta. You always have been. You had a nice little bump in your responsibilities. Hopefully, you got a little bump in your pay scale as well over the last couple of months. A lot of changes going on at Konica. I thought today might be a great time to bring you on and talk about your new role. What are you doing for Konica? And maybe we'll take it from there and see some of the things. Talk about some of the things you're working on. So, first off, let's talk about what are you doing now? What's your new spot?
Well, as for many years, or over the last 10 years, I've been here really looking after our international business, more focused in Mexico and in Canada, as well as all our dealers in Latin America. And as we evolved and changed and try to move towards like shared services, I took on a role 115 days ago, but who's counting? As Chief of Operations and Sales Enablement. So very long title, but not necessarily as long as the pay will be, unfortunately. But look, I think the exciting piece is that I'm able to work with all the corporate staff and really bring more of a field and voice of the field, voice of the customer feel to what we're doing today in the corporate office, especially in the marketing areas, because that's one of the areas that I'll be looking after, as well as e-commerce, product marketing, all the sales admin piece, and of course all the new projects and strategy with VJ in the VSS area and IAM area. So I'm very, very excited to be able to kind of put all these things together and use some of the knowledge that I've learned throughout the years out in the field with the dealers, with direct operation. So really looking forward to it to make an impact and a contribution to everyone. So,
well, you've been kind of behind the scenes guy for a long time, working on a lot of the premier, let's call them premier programs. The Wayne Taylor relationship is something that you've worked on. You work closely with the branches. Moving into marketing now, Konica has always had kind of a big footprint in the world of sports, right? We've seen many famous home runs going over the wall in Yankee Stadium in the past, and Wayne Taylor, obviously, a big investment. We've seen them at some of your shows. The Giants, I think you had Eli Manning at your last dealer show. What can we expect from Konica going forward? Marketing wise, what do you guys see as your image? Forgive the pun. What do you see? What do you see you guys doing going forward?
Well, I mean, look, we're going to continue to do the things that we've been good at. So when we look at sports marketing in particular, we're going to be a little bit more pointed in those areas. So we're gonna trim some areas there, but reinvest and focus more in specific markets to be able to support the field better, our dealers better. So because I think it's a great asset to have for entertaining and customer engagement on both our side and the dealer side. So we're going to continue a lot of those, as long as it makes sense to our dealer partners and our staff and our employees, right? So we will continue to do all the sports marketing. Of course, we're going to continue the Wayne Taylor Racing. It's a near and dear to my heart. Some very, very exciting things starting actually this week. The next 2 days, we'll be testing the new hybrid car, Acura.
Are we talking Wayne Taylor now? Hang on.
Yeah. Oh, change of hat.
All right.
Change of hat.
We're ready now.
And I see the Hall of Fame, Daytona 24 champion ring on. So
Rolex ring.
Thanks for the representing.
Thank you for allowing me to be there.
But look, it's super exciting now. We're a fully factory supported team now with Acura, and of course, as that's Honda. Great synergy with them and us being Japanese companies and similar cultures and similar desires and goals. So that's really good. But the exciting piece is this car is going hybrid, which it's something that we've been wanting to do for quite some time, because being in Konica Minolta, we're very, very aware of and sensitive to the environment and being responsible in that area. And I think this was the last piece that we needed with this program. A lot of people don't know that, this is probably the most environmental friendly series in the United States with respect to, like tires and energy. Michelin, all these are recovered, about 60% a recycled product on the tires for the racing program, as well as now with this hybrid engine, we're really going to be exploring new areas for, that will transfer down the road to the street. But more importantly, make the series more environmental friendly and make the teams more aware, and the partners that are in the motorsports area, continue to support their programs with the environment. So I think it's super positive. And the fact that the car is super, super sexy, and we are very much looking forward to doing very well in the 24 hours in January when we launch the car.
Well, that transition is so cool. And the move to hybrid and probably eventually electric, it opens up, from what I understand, the race to some of the Europeans who may come over and participate. And that's something that's kind of new. It's really going to make it more of a global race, right? And you'll have some really, really big names, not just the ones from our side, which is cool. I did learn a lot when I attended about how much, and you just kind of touched on it there for a second, but how much of that technology, you look at this and these cars are going around that track, so fast and it's so intense, but the technology that they use there, it's really a test case for, can we bring this downstream? Eventually it does make it into, the Acuras, the Hondas, in the past, right? They used GM, Cadillac, I think, was a sponsor. So you guys have not just, you're not just burning gas for the sake of burning gas. There's a goal there, and there is advancements that get made in all sorts of areas, and it'll be really cool to see with the hybrid cars going forward. The evolution and just how much better they start to get as this becomes ingrained in the racing arena. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool about Wayne Taylor was you guys had them, Wayne and Ricky, at your last dealer meeting earlier this year, and so they did. You've had them there in the past, and it's always been really cool to see them in the car. That never ever gets old. But you actually had them on a panel this year, which I thought was awesome. You were there, and what they talked about was the data, right? And how important that is to what they're doing and all the screens that they're watching, and even in a normal race, right? How critical it is. But now, can you talk about going forward, the data that they use? It was a really nice tie into, our community of resellers, right? And how important data is to their customers. But talk about maybe as these racers move into hybrid, right? How big is that data, and how does Konica fit into that?
Well, I mean, look, we make more and more decisions based on data today. Our dealer community, our direct operations, our everything we do at corporate today, we're measuring everything based on data. Look, as we all go through this digital transformation, that becomes more and more important. Today, with the team, for instance, the correlation is even stronger, because now that they have not only just a regular combustion engine, but as well as an electric motor, the data is basically duplicated, right? So you have, all the, electrical side of the car, as well as all the natural combustion engine, side of the car. I correlate this back to us from when we look at our business, the amount of data that we generate every day. Sometimes we don't consume it all because we just don't know how to handle all of it. And we still try to make decisions based on instinct and experience, which of course it's super important. However, we need to use that data to kind of back up some of those decisions we're making, or reinforcing those decisions. When these guys are on the track, every second you have thousands of data points, from, brake pressure, sensors, brake temperatures, tire temperature. We also have all the driver science program now. So, these guys have these patches on their skin, so we can measure, their sweat, their temperature, their heart rate. So, and we're using all this data based on what's happening in the car, whether we need to swap the driver, whether they can do another stint. And by the way, that's the same thing that we are doing these days with our data in our businesses, right? We're measuring our sales forces, our admin efficiency, which is now very close and dear to my heart, since, that's also one more thing that I have to, as an assignment, have to do here at Konica Minolta now. So we're trying to use all this data points to make better decisions, improve the customer experience, and at the same time, keep our employees much more engaged, which is, in effect, what you're doing in the race car with these drivers, this data you're giving them back and forth to adjust the car, to adjust, suspension, or all these different things we do in the car during these races.
And that's, kind of a metaphor for what's kind of going on with your dealers, your branches, your dealers, and with their customers, right? Let's look at the data. And that was the point of that panel, which was, let's see what we can do with this. If it's there, right? And there's a story to be told every time you look at it, and to ignore it, you're missing opportunities. Before I let you go, I do want to talk to you a little bit about DX and especially e-commerce, right? Like, that's the direction. I hear that at every meeting we're at now, whether it's yours, whether it's the BTA meeting that I was just at recently. Forza was there as a sponsor. What can we expect from you guys in the world of e-commerce? That's the big move, I think, in our industry right now.
Well, we've been working on this for nearly 2 years, as you probably know. And quite frankly, we did a soft launch, last Thursday. And it's basically more of a third party and software driven, launch that we have today. Look, I think that it's a very important tool for us in the future. A lot of us today in the industry, we might not make these decisions this way, but the future decisions will all be made through some type of e-commerce. I mean, think about, talking about cars and motorsports, think about who thought that you'd buy a car fully online, 2 years ago. I think you ask many people and they go, there is no way. Well, obviously there is a way. And I think we will make this transition, but I think it's very important for engaging additional customers that we're not getting. And, really, when that customer comes through, it is extremely important for us to protect our channels, right? So obviously there's a series of questions within the e-commerce. There's a series of selections to know whether this customer is one of our dealer customers, or a non-customer altogether, or a direct customer. So we're going to be very, very sensitive to that and make sure that those channels are protected, and we continue to grow this channel with this additional tool. I mean, that's a very high level overarching strategy with the e-commerce, but I think eventually, we will have most of our products there. And hopefully we can attach some of the e-commerces that some of the dealers are using within this platform, and continue to grow together, as a company and with our partners.
So the bottom line is the dealers shouldn't feel threatened by this. They should feel excited. Maybe it sounds from what you're saying that, the e-commerce that you guys are moving forward on is going to, maybe push business towards them, not take it away from them.
It's, to me, it's one more tool in that toolbox, right? One more opportunity to engage additional customers, one more opportunity to teach people about our products, our solutions, our services. And this gives more opportunity to all our channels, including our dealer channel.
Excellent. Well, this was great. It is always awesome catching up with you. When's the next time I'm going to see you, Michael?
Well, hopefully the last weekend in January, you will see me in Daytona. I mean, we are super excited to launch this new program with the hybrid car. We've been doing a lot of work in the background. Now that I'm so much more involved in US marketing, I want to try to do some additional programs to get more engagement with the Wayne Taylor Racing team, and continue to participate in some of these dealer events. We've been able to, not only in our dealer meetings, we invite them, but in a recent, dealer event that we had in Chicago, we took the car and the simulator there. So we're going to do a lot more of those things to kind of, bring the engagement, to the next step. And look, I think it's a value and a
Sure.
way for people to to engage and meet new companies, you know, CEOs, and which is basically our demographic, right? That's going to these races. And look, it's an opportunity for everyone to drum up some additional business. So
it is networking. It's the ultimate networking. I can say from the times that I've been lucky enough to attend these races as your guest, there were some very big names in those pits talking to, you know, salespeople and you. So, you know, Fortune 500 names and the very, very senior people, they like to go to these races, right? And they like to go to golf. They like to go, you know, to whatever it is that companies like you select. And it's just a good way to lock somebody in at a high level for several hours as a guest. And, you know, you have conversations. It doesn't have to be about business, but you establish a relationship. And that's, you know, that's how this industry thrives. We've always sold that way, right? And that's how we know each other. That's how, yeah, exactly.
It's all about the relationship. And I'll tell you, you know, one last thing. I mean, not that I'm excited about this or not, but you know, this year, Porsche, BMW, you know, Cadillac, Acura, you know, we have so many more manufacturers competing in the prototype space that all these people are going to be at these races going forward. You know, Lamborghini will be coming next year. Ferrari will be coming, not on the GT space as before, in the prototype space. And these cars are a global platform. So we'll be able to take these cars and race them in Europe and vice versa. So we're going to have, you know, as we move more into this global, you know, a relationship with businesses and so forth, we're going to have an opportunity to have FaceTime with a lot of these people when they come to these events. So we're really looking forward to engaging our entire community and to participate in these races.
Well, it's exciting. Thank you. I mean, it's just you are in a fun space, right? The events that you are typically at are you know, they're just great customer events quite often. And anytime a dealer gets an opportunity to tie in or be a part of that, I highly recommend it. Your customers will love it. And any last shout outs, anything you want to say as we wrap up?
No, I mean, I'm just looking forward to this journey. I mean, I've been waiting a long time to work more closely in the US. As you know, most of my career has been internationally and dabbling with things in the US here and there, but now it's kind of the real deal, right? So I'm very much looking forward to engaging with the dealers, with our direct sales force. By the way, there's also high expectations because, you know, a lot of them know me as well as the direct operations. So they're expecting, you know, bigger things on the learning and development side, on the, you know, demand generation side, on the advertising side. And so I'm very much looking forward to it and embracing the challenge. So hopefully I'll meet the expectations and you know, we can have you know, more pointed conversations going forward.
Well, I look forward to it. International man of mystery, Michael Mathé, on my show today. It was great catching up with you, and we will see you in January, if not sooner.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks for coming on today. Take care.